Oh, goodness. Welcome, everyone, to another Dr. Scovy workshop. So today, we've got some fun things. We're going to talk about our farm updates and some contracts and waivers. And then I'm going to show you some app progress, or maybe
the lack
of app progress. So we've got some great things for you today. Thank you for being here. The Dr. Scovy project is a fun way for you to be able to feed the dash ducks. We're working on building both short stories or short mysteries that you can watch on YouTube, and then when you feel like you've got the answer, you go over to the Dr. Scovy app and put in your answer, and if you're right, well, even if you're wrong, you still get some dash duck tokens. But if you're right, you get a whole big bag of them, and then you can send those tokens within the app, and it'll automatically feed the dash ducks on Twitch. So it's super fun. We're looking forward to it. We're in just the beginning stage of it, and you're welcome to come, and we invite you to come along for the ride. With that, I think we're on to the updates, just farm updates. Briefly, so one thing we know already is that Utah has gotten a tremendous amount of water, known as snow, up in the mountains. And that's all melting now and coming down. And in some places it's causing problems and flooding. Look for the river to continue to rise this week. And it will be at its highest level on like May 1st since it's this year. So,
is it going to just get higher and higher? Like they don't know how the max yet?
It's measured up in the canyon, and that doesn't, so that it's like currently is sitting at like 6 feet up in the canyon. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's 6 feet down where we're at, because it's all depending on that, if the river's wide or narrow. I don't know how wide or narrow that is, but they have their threshold, like their flooding threshold at 10 feet, and 10, 11 feet, where they start saying there's flooding issues, like you were over capacity. Whether that means that it's over the bank down at the farm is another question. I don't think it is, because at its highest it's been 6 feet, and there's still like a lot of capacity. So I think it
is getting so high though.
It is getting high, but there's still a lot of capacity, and it gets a little bit wider at the top. So I don't really think that. I'm looking at it so far, and I'm like,
And like one of the things is, if you think about, I did this back in the day, like with a hose and dirt. It's like it will get wider at the top. So basically, I think it's not going to flood at the farm first. I think if any flooding is happening, it's happening up the stream, like more closer to the mountains. Like it will just start overflowing at that point. It would be kind of like everywhere, but and the bottom. It's kind of weird because it would be like there and at the bottom, because that's where it hits the lake.
Yeah, one of the things that can happen is if the lake is really got a lot, the outlet on the lake isn't really that great, but it can fill up, and then it can start pushing back on the mouth of the river.
Yeah,
but I don't think we've got that. The lake is still pretty low.
It's a big lake, so we'll be fine.
So, and then the other thing that we've got going on the farm is moving our chicken live, which we've made a lot of good progress. You've seen us add dirt and build up the area in front of Rouville, and Travis yesterday added a bunch more dirt, and I'm going to smooth it out, and then I think we're ready to kind of start putting in the fence and digging holes and burying the fence. And
you think there's enough dirt there, or like will it? Because it's like, at least from what I've seen is it's fluffier dirt. So I wonder like if it's just going to compact it down to like not being that much taller.
It probably, well, what I'm trying to do is prevent, and there might be other strategies that I have to follow besides just adding dirt. So we've got the bank that's high on the pond, and it goes down to a low area. So it's already kind of somewhat of a low area, and we just maybe need to build some channels and such, and just so channel when we get rain and such, so that there's
not a mini pond.
So we don't create these mini ponds. That's the only thing.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
And so I think there's enough dirt there that we can work with it, that we can push it, make piles, or even just come in and add some.
Okay. That's
For right now, I'm just doing a general pass, and then we're going to see where the problems are. That's a nice strategy. And I think that's it. So we're going to move on to our...
Talking about all the Dr.
contracts
Scovy
and such.
Like the actual
our...
series.
All right, sorry. Let me put that on. Do not disturb.
All the behind the scenes work for the show.
Yeah.
And so this week, basically, it's something different every week. So what I've been working on this week, and I'll have to work a lot on it next week, has been the contracts and waivers for all the cast and crew. And this is why so since I've been trying to word everything like perfectly and writing these contracts, that's why, and I'm sure every other contract out there is like worded, try as close to perfection as possible. And that's why it's like when someone just doesn't even read the contract, it's like they don't know specifically what they're signing off to. Like some part of our contract.
Sneaky. Yeah. Are you putting anything sneaky in there?
No, I do have something to avoid sneakiness, because like essentially an actor can sell their soul to a production company, and basically you need to have a section in there saying you're not going to do anything crazy.
Oh, prevent them from saying locking us out of being able to use them for future work.
Yeah, so it's just like there's so many little nuances and stuff.
That's interesting. Okay.
Like
they could accidentally do that. I could see.
Yeah. Like I'll just give like a kind of rundown of what the general agreement is like right now. So we'll have a section on like,
do you want to share your screen or no? Tim's becoming a lawyer. It's long enough to be a lawyer. There's like 59 pages.
Yeah, this is, as everyone knows what waivers look like, sure, I can show you, but it's, this is like the boring stuff.
We just want an idea.
Yeah, so.
A flavor. But this is what this is about. I mean, that's what this workshop isn't about, the nitty gritty.
I've spent like a week working on this, so it's like, and many people just sign it off in 2 seconds. You don't want to do that. I've learned. So I'm actually going to read.
Scroll through it, and then we can be done with sharing.
I'll give you a little rough down though, since this is the nitty gritties, as you said.
Okay. If I just was wondering, maybe we didn't want to like reveal some trade secret or something in this contract.
No, hopefully this should be good. Like, so this section kind of talks about what the actor's going to provide. So like we'll have. That they'll be acting in our story, and then this is all about how we'll pay them, and then other specific. What one was this one?
It says
termination. So this one's basically that we can cut them off from being an actor if something crazy happens. So we have the right to do that, and then section all about giving them credit for their roles, like. This is kind of specific to movies because, so basically in every person's contract, they actually have it in their contract that their name will show up in the end credits.
Yeah.
And then that we...
I think we're making it optional for them. Do they have to like...
Currently it's written that just their credits are going to be in the description.
YouTube description?
Yeah.
Well,
but we also
we should probably let them opt out.
yeah. So that's fine too.
I mean, I would. Yeah.
Not force.
I think it's only we'll opt in. It's probably should be. We should probably write it as an opt in thing. Like,
Yeah.
my preference is, it's a YouTube video. You don't need any crap.
Yeah. So.
But then if they're like, no, please, 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 then it's like, okay, we'll do it. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's an opt in.
Okay. And then this is that we can use all the stuff that they produce for us to promote future content or to promote the actual series. So we can use their image in marketing. And then this one is pretty much if they do something later in life that completely ruins our our series. And this is definitely important for bigger productions.
Yeah.
That they will have to reimburse us what we've paid them.
Ooh.
And then this section's kind of, I definitely need to work on, but it's all like kind of more copyright laws. So a little bit specific. I'm confused. This is where I'm working in this one. Yeah. I don't know yet.
Okay.
We'll get there later. And then providing insurance that if someone gets injured, that we have insurance that can help cover their injuries. And then any disputes, kind of just then the stuff that like how it's going to be handled if we need to talk about this contract. And then there's lots of miscellaneous little tasks, or not tasks, entries in this. So it's kind of interesting, been fascinating. And then we have like the employee benefits and then the good old signatures.
Yay! Good job. Good job.
So if anyone's not bored yet.
No, not you. You went over that very quick.
Oh, and we'll also give them like a second. And this was going to be for everyone that attends the production. Is they'll need to sign a waiver that if basically like if you go to a trampoline park, that if you get hurt, you're not going to sue them. Right? Especially if you do get hurt because of something that you did, that you can't sue the company. So
yeah. Like they decided that it would be fun to climb up to the top of the barn and use it as a slide.
And then try to sue us and make millions of dollars.
Hey,
That's
man, your barn was too slippery, too far off the ground.
Yeah.
Broke my arm.
Yep. So make sure everyone on site has that. And then...
yeah. It should just say, don't do stupid stuff. Mm-hmm. Think that would hold?
Yep, in court that
might actually hold.
It kind of might.
It might. What stupid stuff is so vague.
Yep. Yeah, and then all other extras aren't going to be signed into this main contract, because the one I showed you is one that's for Dr. Scovy and Lizzie, but then all the other extra actors that are just going to be there for one day will just sign like a video release form.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
as long as you had fun sliding. Yes, that'll be the thing. The judge will ask, well, did you have fun doing that? You don't have a case then.
Exactly.
So, is there more? Or does
as far as the contracts wise,
contracts and waivers,
I could tell my little story now about.
Okay, yeah, tell your story.
So this morning, I've been working with an acting agency to do some casting, and one of the actors in the agency, basically the agency gave them the information and sent an email, and they sent an email saying they'd be interested in doing the audition, but then I replied with the time that I was looking to do and gave the specific location and time, and then the actor replied back saying, I'm going to be working on a different project, that time doesn't work. Is it also possible to move the location for the audition a little closer as well? And then the agency replied to that email, sure, we can do that, or something like that, and totally like replied for me. I was like,
oh, we can't do that.
Not exactly. So it's been interesting working with the agency versus just the freelance actors.
So we've kind of some people that we know that are just in acting that we're just working with them directly. Another one that we used kind of more of a general where there's no agent. People are representing themselves independently, but you can post jobs, kind of like a job market,
Yep.
and then an agency.
Yeah.
And so far, the agency's been the messiest.
Is
that right?
Yeah, it's been hard.
And slow. It seems like the communication's a lot slower.
It is.
With the back end, because there's that middle person. So interesting.
It is fun, but
Yeah.
we'll see how it all goes.
We can't move the farm to you. Very, very, very true. We can't. So it's like, what are they thinking? We just like go meet up at Walmart or something and to be closer?
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not gonna be renting out some like office space for a few $1,000s for one audition.
Yeah, it's just weird. That's probably a sign that we don't want to work with that person.
Because of the agent?
Because they're like even thinking, oh, can we move it closer? But maybe it's an honest question.
Yeah.
But it could be kind of like,
like
we're already running into like little things with them. It's like, maybe, I don't know.
Yep. The other actors, I've sent them to the location. They've both said like, sounds good. It's giving me the thumbs up.
It could be a problem. That's what I'm thinking. Is the distance? The distance could be a problem for them.
Oh yes,
and that's what they. I mean, they have to decide. That's part of. The contract, I think, specifies here's the location, and this is kind of their rough shooting schedule. Then they have to decide. They have to commit to that. All right. Well, should I get into the app progress?
Yeah. I'll just talk about my sticker decorating. I've always gotten stickers and wanted to put them somewhere, but it's like I don't feel like putting them on like the wall or somewhere like permanent but when I got this case cover, that it's a nice big sticker and it's one that can come off cleanly and it's just there to protect it. So I was like, you know what? That's actually perfect place to put all my other stickers.
All right.
And now I actually have somewhere to do my sticker collection, like I've always wanted to do.
We're gonna have to hide all the trademark stuff on the screen. We're gonna have to blur that out. So.
Yep.
All right. So the app. Let's talk about the app. I am going to switch over to where I can show you the app. What one do I thought I had a window that was just...
I need to go grab one of the Our Chicken Life ones. Definitely put on there too.
Can I just pull that off by itself? There we go. All right. So the app, you've kind of seen some of the progress. We go ahead and we log in and we've got this. So
this actually might be one of the actors.
Okay.
So I'm going to take a call.
Tim's going to take that call.
Hello, this is Timothy.
On the
I'm doing great.
Page, we've made it's
yeah.
We've kind of been stuck at this one little issue. At first,
okay.
So this opening of the bag and dragging the coins
so location-wise, I think
at
we
first,
want to do it at that location because that's where we'll do our final shooting and all that. It's just the space that we have. But
that is working.
Time-wise, I'd have to work because part of this audition is I want to see what working with the other main actor would be like. So like
the first go around, the programmer used the standard built-in drag and drop, which caused this weird box issue around, like, if you ever drag images, it'll sometimes, images that are draggable, it will, while you're dragging, it creates this box around it. So that was happening. And I was like, oh no, that's no good. So I had them redo it. And they were struggling with using just CSS or just having the position of the image follow the page. They got that worked out. And then there's this one little tiny issue now where, and this actually isn't sorry. I guess that is not the right, it's, so there's I'm working on this. Sorry, I I didn't actually get the right code because the coin is behind the candy machine right now. In the working coin, when you place the coin and it feeds, it's behind. And this has been going on for like 2 weeks, back and forth on this one issue. Kind of been like scratching my head on why, and on why the programmer is having such a hard time. Anyways, it's not good now. They spent the whole week. They've spent like 2 weeks on it now.
I realized probably everyone could hear my conversation for the first bit.
Oh, and then what did you do?
I just took it off and ran away from the mic.
Oh,
nothing
yeah.
like you all could have listened to the conversation, I guess.
Well, we were like, they were probably having everyone cover your ears there. That was it. That was it.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
It's fine.
I think I'm not really. You can tell that I'm a bit flustered over this issue because even in explaining it, I just don't even know how to explain it to you.
What was it supposed to do?
Well, the image is in front because I was playing with it this morning and,
so
and
you
took
basically
it in the front, but I'm trying to tweak it, and I wasn't able to load their code on the other user that I was logged into.
Crazy.
So I couldn't even demo the problem, but it does sort of work. But so it's been kind of, I don't know, kind of difficult working with. Sometimes working with programmers could be hard. But
yeah,
I feel like I have to go in and do it myself or something, which I don't want to. I've got like so much other stuff going on.
That's what I experienced when I was working with other editors.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
yeah, you're like, no, do it this way. And you're like taking so much time.
It's like it would take me just as long to actually edit it as it would take to tell them what to do. So
that's true. That's hard. But what do we do?
Just edit it ourselves.
So, I even showed them one thing that I'm looking at my notes now. A couple of days ago, I was like, okay, let me give you just an example of how to do this right.
Like on a different?
It's just, I didn't have all the other things like the feed mechanism and the list of transactions and such. It was just the coin and the feeder, and you can drag it on, and when you place it down, it just gives you a message, hey, you did it. Mm-hmm. And so I gave them that full working example, and they still couldn't get it. I'm like, so that's some frustration. It's kind of, I went through this. I mean, I've used this place before. It's a programming place in India, where you can hire programmers. I opted for like the junior level programmer. Maybe I made the mistake. I think we were talking about this early on.
Yeah,
you have to pay twice as much to get the more experienced one. But then again, I'm even working on another project with a more experienced one, and I'm like running into like, okay, like I've told you this like 3 or 4 times already. Do I need to explain it again? So I don't know. I feel like maybe programmers are getting kind of a little. I think I have my suspicion on what is happening to programmers in general. Mm-hmm. Like, so I've programmed all the way from when I was like 13 years old. And the way you learned how to program was, it was reading books and digesting things in classes and such, and there was no internet.
Yeah.
Today, there's the internet, and there's like Stack Exchange, and you can just type in a question and you'll get these bits of code that look like they are the solution, and sometimes they're close, or
just copy and paste it over.
and a lot of it is copy and paste. And I'm looking at I'm like, okay, you're indenting this way and then you're indenting that way, and I'm like suspicious.
Like, I don't think you typed all that yourself.
And even the senior level programmer was trying to like, oh, I have this problem. I think I'm gonna try to implement what this document on the internet, someone talks about this problem. And I kind of looked at him like, I'm not sure that's even the problem. They were missing some other stuff, some very specific stuff I was telling them on how, like, I knew how the interface worked, how you had to communicate with the server, and they ignored that, and they were just looking at the overall behavior, like, why isn't my data updating? And they were going down a hole that was the complete wrong issue, because the issue was they just weren't waiting, and I told them before, you have to wait. You get a transaction ID from the server, you have to wait and you have to check it, and it takes like 15-20 seconds to do it, and then you can say and get the fresh data. And so they were like, well, it's just I keep getting I go to get the fresh data, and they don't realize that they're just getting a cache rather than the data that they're the new data. And they're like, why isn't my document updating? And they go down this whole other thing, and so I kind of wonder if there's just a lack of
like
understanding what is going on.
The core knowledge.
Yeah, and understanding why the computers are doing such. I mean, there's some computer theory that I think they miss, and being able to even hold a large project in your head and kind of like I will sit and I will look at code and run it in my head. I will run it and track what it's doing and kind of visualize it and compile it in my head a lot of times. And I wonder if that's a skill that isn't really strong in a lot of programmers.
I'd see that.
Because the internet has just made it so that you just go ask a question and you get an answer that is plausible. And I don't think that ChatGPT fixes it.
Makes it worse.
It doesn't fix that.
I've definitely kind of experienced that with video editing, but I'm not as good at video editing as you are at coding. Like, you've spent more hours coding than I spent video editing.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's like I still kind of get the idea. Because like I'll edit pieces in my mind, be like, okay, this to that, yeah, that will look good. Or it's like I can see two clips next to each other before I actually play it, and I'm like, okay, I know this is going to look bad. It's going to be a bad cut.
Yeah. I mean, Stack Exchange and people copying pasting code that's pretty well. That's been done for ever since the internet, and I've used it a lot. But one of the differences is that because I understand what they're doing, I first understand the problem that they've got, and I can pick the part that relates to my problem. I can kind of understand, does this actually relate to what I'm faced with? Yeah. Yes, no.
Yeah.
And that's a difference.
I've actually done a lot of that with the contract work, because that's basically how the contracts is coming together. It's like, okay, I need something that talks about this. Yeah. So I found a different contract that has the relatively same thing, but it's like, okay, what are the pieces from that bit that I need in this bit for my section?
Yeah.
And so you just kind of start combining it all,
We are
conglomerating.
all Chat GPT. We are all combining things.
Yep.
So, another thing. Dr. Scovy taught me about academic dishonesty. Oh, true. So we need to maybe do something like that. One thing I did want to do, we want to just quickly go over just review some of the image progress that Susie has been working on. So this is our outside library. I think it's very lovely. It's turned out great. And I love all the little features, like the egg-shaped windows. You've got probably Beverly with her little chicks and eggs and our chicken life, all in stonework, and some, those look like swans, but I think they're ducks. They gotta be ducks. They're just ducks. And there might be some things I'm missing. There might be another, like someone peeking their head around the corner. So this is going to be perfect. So if you remember, this scene right here is where Dr. Scovy and Lizzie meet the homeless man that's reading a bunch of books and has a fancy hat.
Yeah.
So that's what this is going to take place in.
Oh, one other thing. Just
Easter eggs are literally eggs. That was great. Yes.
One thing I did this week in regards to Dr. Stovey work is I went out prop shopping. And so I went to the thrift store and I don't normally shop at a thrift store. Like, I just don't like that stuff. But it was really perfect for just grabbing props. I'm like, oh, sweet. I'm going to need this and this and this. And it's like, even one of the things is they're already a little bit battered and worn. So it gives it like a little bit more of an authentic feel as well.
That's true.
So, and then I also went to the book section and for like $3 a piece was able to get all these just nice textbooks. So I was like, this is perfect Dr. Scovey's light reading.
Yeah. That's great. Oh, I love it.
Like, I'm just imagining she like closes the textbook. It's like, oh, I've read this 80 times. It's so boring.
So boring. I've got it memorized.
Yeah.
And so here's the bus stop. So this is the end where they figure out that it's Mabel that's taking the books.
Wait, everyone here's going to know what the answer is.
I know they are. They're going to get the bonus points.
Yep.
The bonus coins. So that's part of being here is you
know the stories.
you know. So like Mabel is taking the books, thinking that all she needs to do is just go to the library and pull them, just like your corner side book lending, and they stop her at the bus stop. So let's just double check. This just came in this morning. This is just really fresh. I haven't even looked at it. Can you tell it will be a bus stop? I'm not sure. Did the sign give it away? Not final colors. It looks great. This will be perfect. What do you think?
I like it. It'll be good.
It's going to work.
Definitely will get the...
Sweet. And I need to add a reaction. I need to add my own reaction. You guys should be able to add reactions to this. I'll just double up
the Lego hype.
Yeah. Yes. There we go. Very good. Good job, Susie. We love the work. They're gonna make the areas come to life. I think it'll be very fancy.
They'll do. They will.
Very good. We just finished it. Did we finish it, Tim?
I think so.
Okay, we finished it. So we've got another update for you next week, same time, Friday at noon. Thank you all. We greatly appreciate you being here, and we look forward to maybe a working app. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe Coin Drop will work, or I'll just come with more gray hair next week. We'll find out. Thank you all. We'll see ya. Actually, I need to go to the. Here we go. Now I can say bye to YouTube. Bye bye.